Hello, my friends at the APAC region. It's great to be here. My name is Cristina Tardáguila, and then I'm the Associate Director of the International Fact-Checking Network. I'm talking to you from Tampa in Florida, United States. And I have the great chance to share a bit of what the Coronavirus Facts Alliance did this year, this weird 2020, in order to fight misinformation regarding COVID-19. And I want to start sharing with you some information and some beautiful graphs about how we have planned and how we executed this wonderful alliance that is started back in January 24. And just take a look at those beautiful green bars just going up, up. And you're going to see what happened during the last 9 months. First, in the first graph, you're going to see the number of countries participating in the Coronavirus Facts Alliance that was built, as I said here, by the IFCN. We started with about 30 to 40 organizations in countries, and now we have more than 70 countries connected through this database that was being shared, and we have more than 177 people connected fact-checking content about the COVID-19. This means that we have tripled the number of participants throughout the alliance. And I'm super glad to say that the Coronavirus Facts Alliance now has content being debunked in 43 different languages. This is just amazing. This is something that has never happened in the fact-checking universe. And now take a look at this third graph. You're going to see the number of fact checks that has been done by the fact-checking community that is currently working together in the Coronavirus Facts Alliance. When we started back in January 24, right at the beginning, we managed to do 86 fact checks and share among each other, right? But now we are almost getting to 9,000 hoaxes being debunked by all those 99 organizations that are working together. And I here have to give a shout out to Taiwan Fact Check Center and my friend Summer Chen, because she was the first one who gave me a call back in January when COVID wasn't that big and wasn't that important. She said, hey, Chris, I think this virus is important and we should collaborate as we usually do when we have political events like G20 or the UN Assembly. So here we are. Here's the result of collaboration, which is, from the IFCN's point of view, the best and the only way to fight misinformation and disinformation. I'd like to share with you some lessons we learned as a coordinator of this big and great project, of the waves of mis and disinformation that we have all seen going around the planet, right? We have seen at least 9 big and global topics that we all had to fight against. The first one was related to the origin of COVID, right? So right at the beginning in Asia, and then, of course, as the virus traveled the planet, so that traveled with him or it too, right? So we all started seeing hoaxes regarding the origin of the virus. So we all read about the bat soup. We all read about the lab in China, the lab in Russia. We all read about Bill Gates. I'm glad that's over, and I really want to thank the fact-checking community for working so hard against that. Then we moved towards the manipulated videos. We all saw those people fainting in subways, fainting in supermarkets, and thanks to fact checkers, we were able to identify that those people were either drunk, they were having heart attacks, and other kinds of diseases. That was a moment of panic, and the fact-checking community managed that really well. The third wave is still around, unfortunately, and we really need to keep fighting together. It's about the false cures and false treatments. And in this wave of disinformation, we saw content that wasn't really harmful, but also content that could really kill people. I'm talking about drink pure alcohol, for example. It was really big in Iran and had people being poisoned to death. And then I want to jump to the second row of our spreadsheet here, and I want to talk about the anti-China movement. We all see, and I can guarantee that it was really big in Asia too, that we saw hoaxes about how China was trying to kill people with COVID, or also trying to kill the pets, and also, well, I mean, doing everything that they could, or maybe not doing everything that they could. So the attacks against China were big. We also saw in the fifth wave how some races and religion got mixed with COVID. And we saw, for example, some hoaxes saying that Black people had a better blood and would not get infected. And also how the Muslim community would actually be protected against COVID. Both are completely false, as we know now. And then we saw when the planet went to lockdown, and I'm talking about not only big population in India, but also in Italy, in Spain, in the United States, and everywhere else. We saw all those digital pirates trying to steal your credit card, your personal data, and sending you false links to get information and get some money out of you with fake donations, for example, and all the e-commerce hoaxes, right? It's a shame that happened. I really hope nobody in the audience had that problem. Then what we saw right after was the politicization about the COVID. And now I'm talking not only about the politicians who used COVID mis and disinformation, but also their supporters who attacked the opponent using COVID. I mean, this was a terrible environment, right? And it's in some parts of the planet, especially where there is election, we are still seeing that kind of mis and disinformation. Then we jumped to the reopening discussion. While then you saw so many statistics being stretched out to prove whether either if reopening was good or bad. And we are still seeing that in many, many parts of the planet. But now what I think is the biggest by far threat that we're seeing as fact checkers is the anti-vax movement. We are actually fighting really hard against the relationship between a future vaccine and the abortion, a future vaccine and infertility, and technology as saying you're going to have a chip in your blood, and also the possibility of people actually creating and building a fake vaccine that would be cheaper and to be sold in black markets. These are really interesting topics for further discussions, and I really would like to hear the audience giving their experience around that. Here I want to share with you like the products, let's call it products, that were created with the help of the members of this alliance. And you're going to see the main database that was created in English, and it's available at Pointer, the website at Pointer, where IFCN is hosted. And there you can find, as I said, almost 9,000 hoaxes that have been debunked. And from that big, let's say, mother database, we created two databases that are now being heavily used, one that is in Spanish, and one that is in Portuguese. And all of those three databases are now being used by researchers and by academics, and they are now who have received grants from the IFCN, and we will very soon hear from them with stories that we as fact checkers didn't have time to look at, but they will tell us like some very, very interesting, I can guarantee, very interesting comments about what else can we tell from mis and disinformation related to COVID. Then I want to show you some cool graphs. I don't know if you had time to take a look at the landing page at the IFCN's website. The first on my right, I hope it's your left. You're seeing cool graphs that were built thanks to Google and Polygraph. You are going to see the timeline of big falsehoods, where it started and how it spread across the planet. And then you're also going to see how the chatbot that we developed is playing. And I need to give a shout out to Rajesh and Vishwas News team, because they did a great job building the chatbot in Hindi. And I hope this is now a big thing in the APAC region. The chatbots are also available in Portuguese, in Spanish, and English, which means that the IFCN is now covering the 4 biggest languages in the WhatsApp. And I want to end saying that, well, we wouldn't be able to do all this if 99 organizations wouldn't really agree in dropping the competition and working together. We really understand that the big monster out there, which is misinformation and disinformation, there is no other or better way to fight against it that is not working together. This is the only solution. We have to drop competition and work together as a international newsroom. We need to find ways to connect, even though we were working in 16 different time zones. And we, of course, have our local flavor, our local reality, but we can surely connect and be stronger in times so weird and in situations so crazy, just like 2020.